about $31,000 a year. That is the full single-age pension right now from Services Australia. In Sydney, that barely keeps a roof over your head. 6 hours north, the same money buys a completely different life. A condo with a pool and a beer cheaper than the tip you would leave here. Same pension. Thousands of Australians in their 50s and 60s have done the sums and gone. Here is why the maths is so brutal. The retirement benchmark body in early 2026 put a comfortable single retirement at nearly $55,000 a year. Break the pension down and it is about $2,600 a month. Try covering rent, food, power, and a life on that in any Australian capital. So people are looking north, to Southeast Asia, where the same money stretches further than most of us would believe. But there are two catches nobody puts in the brochure. We will get to those. But first, the fun part. Let us start right at the cheap end and work our way up. First stop is Vietnam. On the money alone, Vietnam is the budget champion, and it is not even close. In a city like Da Nang, plenty of retirees live well on under $2,000 a month. Beachside, brilliant food, coffee that will honestly ruin you for anything back home. On the pure cost of living, almost nothing in the region touches it for the money. But here is the first catch. Vietnam has no retirement visa. None. You stay by stringing together tourist visas and hopping across the border every few months. And in 2026, they tightened it. Border officers can now turn you back. So that old routine of endless visa runs is a lot shakier than it once was. Next door is Cambodia, and it flips the whole thing around. Still dirt cheap to live on, and it hands you the easiest retirement visa in Asia by a country mile. If you're over 55, you turn up, pay roughly $300 a year, and renew it more or less forever. No income test written into the law. Many report a comfortable life in Phnom Penh for around $1,500 to $2,000 a month. The visa takes an afternoon. It is your appendix you need a plan for. Because outside the capital, serious healthcare gets thin fast. Something goes really wrong, and you are on a plane to Bangkok. Hold that thought, because it matters later. Now the Philippines, and this one has a genuine trump card. Everybody speaks English. It is an official language here. So the whole of daily life just quietly works. You can argue with the power company in English, which, let us be honest, is more than some of us manage with our own bank back home. The retirement visa there is a lifetime one, with no annual renewal. You qualify over 50 if you have a modest pension coming in and a deposit sitting in a local bank. That deposit is about $15,000 US. Call it 21,000 of ours. Not nothing, but a world away from what one country is about to ask you for. The trade-off is the day-to-day. Power cuts happen, typhoon season is real. And Manila traffic makes a Monday on the M5 look like a quiet country lane. Then there is Thailand, the old hand of this whole game. It has been doing it longer than anyone else, and the private healthcare is genuinely world-class. People fly in from Australia just for the hospitals. One expat broke his arm over there and raved about the care. Then mentioned the bill was $4,500. The retirement visa asks for either 800,000 baht sitting in a Thai bank. That is about 34,000 of our dollars, or a steady monthly income instead. But here is the honest bit. Thailand is not the bargain it was in the backpacker days. Prices have crept up, and the popular expat towns crept up the fastest. Retirees who have been there a while will tell you $2,000 a month no longer buys the dream. It covers a decent life. It does not leave much to save. Last stop, and the priciest, is Malaysia. On paper, it is the Goldilocks pick. Modern English everywhere, hospitals as good as ours, and food that is basically a religion. For years, Malaysia rolled out the literal red carpet for retirees. Then a couple of years back, it quietly bolted a rather large price tag onto that carpet. The main visa now starts with a fixed deposit of 150,000 US dollars. That is over 200,000 of ours. And you have to buy property on top. There is a cheaper zone-based option for the over 50s, closer to 32,000 US dollars. But the headline scheme has quietly priced out the very retirees it once chased. So that is the fun part done. Now, the two catches I promised at the start, because this is exactly where most of these videos suddenly go very quiet. Catch one is the pension itself. Yes, it can follow you overseas, but not one of these 5 countries has a formal social security agreement with Australia. In plain terms, you have to be living in Australia when you first claim it. And there is a waiting period of roughly 2 years before it can properly travel with you. There is more in the fine print, like how your years lived here affect the rate. The point is simple. Check it with Centrelink before you book a single flight. Catch 2 is the big one. Health. Medicare stops the moment you leave the country, and Australia has no health deal with any of these 5 places. So you carry private international cover instead. In your 50s, that is a manageable line in the budget, a few $1,000s a year, and you barely feel it. But it climbs steeply with age. By your late 60s, it can double, and push past 70, and some insurers stop covering you right when you need it the most. This is the bit the highlight reels always skip. That cheap $2,000 a month life is very real, right up until you add the cover a 65-year-old actually pays. Picture it in real numbers, $2,000 for the base life, another $1,000 or more for cover once you're older. Suddenly the whole pension is spoken for. Add it all up, and a genuinely comfortable single life over there often lands closer to $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Still often better than here, just not the fairy tale. One bit of good news to balance it out. Your super is far more portable than your pension. Once you can access it, you can draw it from almost anywhere on earth. So, should you actually do it? I cannot answer that one for you. And anyone who tells you they can, in a 5-minute video, is quietly selling something. It depends on your health, on how many years you clocked up back home, and on whether you can really be that far from the grandkids for good. Because a video call is not a hug. Some people thrive out there, others quietly ache for home. That is not weakness. It is just worth weighing honestly. But here is the part worth holding on to. That gap between the pension and a good life is not carved in stone. You have more options than you have ever been told. Quick one before we wrap up. Everything here is general information only, not personal financial advice. For a move this big, please get advice that actually fits your own situation first. If this cleared a few things up, do me a favor and give it a like. It helps this honest kind of money content reach more Australians who need it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so the next one finds you. See you in the next one.